Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a review of the Yadata counting jump rope. This is the first counting jump rope that I have tried and excited to do the review. A little backstory. The company that makes this rope sent this rope to me for free to review. And so I'm going to do this review and give you my honest opinion of what I think about this rope. All right, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get into it. All right, this is the unboxing for the YIDATA jump rope. I think it's called, I'm not sure if it's an acronym for something, because I think it's made in China, or if it's pronounced Yadata. I'm not really sure. I didn't ask the people. So as I get through the unboxing, the story behind this one, I'll get to it in the review as well, is that they hit me up on my email and they offered to send me this rope for free as long as I would do a review for them. So I'm starting to get a lot more of these free, and that's all it comes with. I'm starting to get a lot more stuff people are sending to me, which I think is pretty cool. I think it comes with the territory. Maybe it means that I'm moving into the influencer status. I have no idea. It's cool to be that, I guess, but I'm not. That's not why I do the channel. But I mean, it's cool for people to start sending me free things and everything, so I can try new jump ropes out, so that I can keep having videos to do and keep reviewing products. But people are trying, I guess they're seeing that the channel is starting to get more, more views, so they want to get their product out in front of people. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, this looks a little bit more complicated than other ropes that I've gotten. So I think that this is a counter and it hooks up. I think it comes with batteries, and it's also weighted too, I think. And so I think the weight's in here. But one thing that I think is probably good for beginners is these right here. These are for beginners because the rope doesn't actually go over you. The rope, you can use these and they can help you get your coordination down without having to trip over the rope. See, it's called an air rope, and it looks like it just goes through, the rope just goes through like this, and you just swing these around like you normally would with a rope, but it doesn't go over your head. So I think that's pretty cool. And it comes with instructions here, because this doesn't look like a rope that you can just bring out of the box and start using. It looks like you're gonna need some batteries, and you're gonna need to follow these directions. But it looks like it does timing, calories, function. It has different function settings. You can put your weight in there, it looks like, and it can tell, well, no, never mind. It has different settings, I guess. I don't know if it comes with a battery. Oh, okay, it does come with battery. All right, cool. So it looks like it has a half-pound weight in each side of the rope. So the 0.5, I think, is the weight. And then, so it's got the calories. For C is the calorie. And then you can have different functions here. So you can try to set it, and it counts. I think the one good thing about this is it counts your jumps. So you can use it to count your jumps if that's something you're into. This doesn't look like a good rope for tricks or anything like that, but it does look like a good rope for someone who is just beginning. But I mean, we'll see how it works out. I'm always up for trying different jump ropes and different products, so we'll see how it works out. Okay, pros. I'll talk about the positive first, what I do like about this rope. The first thing I like about this rope is that it's weighted, and the weights are actually in the handles. They're not in the 5mm cord. Weighted handles or weights in the rope attachment like you'll have with a cross rope are both good because they give you more feedback and you're less likely to trip over the rope. Each one of these handles has, I believe it's 160 gram metal weight inside of each one. You can remove them by twisting off this cap here. So that equals out to around 0.7 pounds total. So 0.35 pounds in each handle, 0.7 pounds total. You get a similar feel that you would get with the half-pound cross rope, except the only difference is, as I said, the weights for this rope are in the handle, and the weights for the cross rope, any of the cross ropes, are all in the actual rope attachment itself. Second thing I like is I do like the counting feature. If you look at one of the handles, you have this display here, and once you turn it on, it does count your jumps, and it is pretty accurate. When I did my first workout with this rope, I decided to count in my head to 500. I did 500 jumps, and the rope was within 2 or 3 jumps. I think it actually gave me credit for more. I think it was like 502 or 503. You can watch my live workout. Bottom line is that it is a very accurate counter, and it does well with that. So if you like to measure your progress, you don't really like using time to measure your progress with jump rope, you like using repetitions, this is definitely a good rope for you. The other thing I like about this rope is that it comes with these air ropes here. This is a good feature for people who are having a little bit of trouble getting over the rope, who are having some problems with their coordination. What these do is you can slip the rope out of the locking mechanism here, and you can put these in, and these simulate the jump rope without actually having the rope go over your head and under your feet. So you can get a good feel for the timing and what the rope should feel like as you're rotating your wrist without going through the frustration of constantly tripping over the rope. So that's another feature I like. Since I'm not a beginner and since I've been jumping rope for a while, I would not use these, but I think that it is good for someone who is having a little bit of trouble, someone who's just starting out, and there's no shame in using these. It's actually a great tool to use to be able to get your feet under you, to not have that constant frustration of tripping over the rope, and to also just understand how it feels to rotate the rope and what it should feel like. The thing I like about this rope is how easy it is to set up. All you need to do once you get it out of the box is just take the rope out, and I'm going to take the rope out here, and you just go through with it like this, and it's very intuitive. It doesn't take a long time to set up. One thing that you want to avoid, or one thing that trips people up when they're starting to jump rope, is they might get a rope that's really complicated that they have to measure, that they have to cut with wire cutters. And what that ends up doing is it can discourage you because there's too many barriers to start. So that's another thing I like about this rope, is it is very easy to use. Another thing I like about this rope, and this goes along with the fact that it's good for beginners, is that it does use a thicker cord. A thicker cord is integral in the process of becoming a intermediate and advanced jumper from a beginner jumper. You don't want to start with a cord that's too thin because it won't give you enough feedback. So I think that when they made this rope, they had the beginners in mind, because it is a very thick cord, a 5mm cord, which is what you want, and the handles are weighted. So you're getting the feedback from the thick cord, and you're getting feedback from the weight in the handles. Another thing I like about this rope is that it does stay on if you want to do a jump, 100 or 200 repetition jump, and then you want to do some push-ups or sit-ups or another exercise. It stays and it keeps track of how long you've jumped, and it stays active for a few minutes. So that's another good thing about it, is it doesn't just forget your data. Now, if you just leave the rope lying on the ground, or you forget to turn it off, then it will probably forget how much you've jumped, or how many calories you burn. But if you just do an exercise and then you come back to the rope within a couple minutes, it's going to save how many jumps you've done. So that's a great feature, especially for people who like to measure their progress through repetitions, is that the rope has memory and it's not going to forget your jumps if you continue to use it and your breaks are only a couple minutes long. On to the negatives, what I don't like about this rope. And the one thing I don't like about this rope is that I cannot figure out how to use the calorie burn portion of it. I did enter my weight in correctly. It's in kilograms, and as I've been using it, I just have not been able to get the calorie function to work properly. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe I did it wrong. It could be user error. I'm definitely open to that, and if it is, I accept that. But it shouldn't be that difficult to use. The other 3 metrics on the rope do work well. The weight, I could enter that in. The counts work well, and the time works well also, but the calories just don't seem to work, and I haven't been able to figure out what the problem is. So that's the one thing I don't like about it. And then the other thing I don't like about the rope is the instructions. Instructions are in English, but they're not written very well, and they're pretty hard to understand. For someone whose processes, whenever they get something new, whether it be a jump rope or another piece of exercise equipment, they like to get in and read the directions and be very deliberate about how they're setting up their equipment. The instructions are pretty difficult to read and pretty difficult to decipher. So that's another thing I would change. So the 2 things I don't like about this rope is that the calorie burn, the calorie tracker on the display does not work very well, and that might be user error, as I said. And also the instructions are pretty difficult to understand, even though they are in English. Okay, I'm going to talk about the quality of this rope. It's the first metric that I like to look at. So far, I think this rope is really well made. There's a lot of things I like about it as far as the quality and the manufacturing goes. The first thing I like is that they have these slip resistant bumps on the handle so that your handle doesn't get too sweaty. That's one thing that I think that Crossrope, and I'm just using them as an example here, that Crossrope improved upon from their earlier handles. When I was using a Crossrope before, I was having a hard time making sure my hands didn't slip through, and that's an expensive premium rope, and they've since fixed that in their 2020 handles. But it's a problem in most jump ropes, is that you start to get sweaty and the handles start to slip, and you either have to wear gloves or you have to get a new jump rope, or you have to find a way around it. These anti-slip bumps are really nice because the rope, it's less likely for the rope or the handle to slip out of your hand. So I do like that, and I think that's a good manufacturing feature that they put onto this rope. The other thing I do like is that the cord is well made. It seems like a regular 5mm cord. I'm not sure. Well, it doesn't have a string in the middle, but I haven't seen much wear and tear with it, and I've used this rope at least once a week since I've gotten it back in November of 2020. So I do like how it seems to be well made. I do like how it's a more complicated rope because of the counter. They have a lot of electronics in here, and it seems to be well made because they have these screws here that keep everything in place. This keeps the battery in place. This keeps the turning mechanism in place so that the rope can keep turning. So overall, I'm going to give this rope a 5 out of 5 for quality, because I think it is very well made, and I think they put a lot of time and effort into this. It is a more complicated rope because it does have this digital LED display here, and so they accounted for that, and I feel like they incorporated a lot of quality into their process. I'm going to talk about price to value. Price to value is probably the most important metric that I talk about on this channel, because many people are just getting into jump rope and they're not really sure what the price of a jump rope should be, and they end up getting burned because they pay $17, $18 for a rope that probably is worth about $1, and it breaks on them within a couple weeks. So I like to talk about price to value just so I can give you my opinion on what a rope should cost, and then what you should expect based on the price you pay. And that's why I do my price to value ratings. For this rope, I'd give this rope a 5 out of 5 for price to value as well. It's currently $15 on Amazon, and I think that's a good deal, especially for a rope that counts your jumps and a rope that has a more complicated infrastructure as this does. They had to do a lot of extra things to put this rope into play, and I'm sure that it was a lot more complicated than just getting a regular plastic handle with a PVC corded rope. And so with the complexity that they're able to introduce into this rope, I think that $15 is a fair price. Now, if you compare this rope for $15 to the Rush Athletics rope, which is $17, and it's basically the same thing, or the Elevate rope, which is $17 as well, you'll see that this rope is a much better value if you're just looking to work out, if you're not looking to do any fancy freestyle tricks. So I give this rope a 5 out of 5 for price to value. I'm going to talk about the performance of this rope, and performance is another good metric. If your rope doesn't perform well, it's going to be very frustrating. You're going to trip over it a lot, and you're just not going to be able to get the command of the rope that you need to get in an efficient and effective exercise session. So performance, I would say this rope is a 5 out of 5 as well for what it is. Now, this rope is not going to be able to perform well if you're deciding to do a lot of fancy tricks or freestyle tricks, advanced freestyle tricks. That's not what this rope is for. This rope is for a regular conventional workout, and it's for people who are just in the beginning stages or people who don't really care to do tricks. But with that in mind, it does perform very well. I've had no problems with it. I'm able to do all the basic tricks that I like to do, crossovers, double unders. I was able to do all the boxer steps and variations of the boxer step that I like to do. So I'd give this rope a 5 out of 5 for performance, keeping in mind that it is not a freestyle or advanced freestyle trick rope. Versatility. Versatility is another important metric. You want to understand how versatile the rope is based on the kind of jumper you are. If you are a jumper who does not care about tricks, who just wants to use the jump rope solely for working out, you don't really care about it being versatile. You just want a rope that's not going to break on you. But if you are someone who is interested in working out, but you also like freestyle, then you want a rope that is more versatile, like a long handle 4mm cord rope. This rope does not fall into the list of ropes that would be good for doing any kind of tricks. So that's why I give this rope a 3 out of 5 for versatility, just because you can only use it for workout-based jumping. You can't really do much else with it. If you try to, it's going to be very difficult because the handles are too heavy and it slows down the maneuverability. Also, this turning handle right here, or this turning mechanism right here, it does do well in just basically rotating the rope, but it won't do very well if you're trying to do quick maneuvers like you see someone like Buddy Lee doing in any of his Instagram or YouTube videos. This rope is definitely not for that. If you're looking for a rope that's good for tricks, I would recommend one of 2 ropes or both ropes, the Buddy Lee Rope Master or the Elite SRS Pro Freestyle. Those ropes are more versatile than this. So I give this rope a 3 out of 5 jumps, just because you can't do much with it other than regular workouts, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. Ease of use is an important metric to understand, because a lot of people don't factor in how easy their equipment is to use, and the easier the better. Working out is something that a lot of people don't like to do. I can tell you that I'm not exactly excited to wake up every morning at 5 o'clock and run on the treadmill or go jump rope, but I know it's something that I have to do. And what I try to do is make sure that my equipment that I use to work out, my jump ropes, my treadmill, my exercise bike, all that stuff is as easy as possible to use, because if you're doing something that you don't want to do, but you know you need to do it anyway, you want to make it as easy and simple as possible. And this all goes with jump rope as well. If you have a jump rope that's hard to set up once you get it out of the box, you have to boil the rope, you have to cut it, you have to do extra things just to get the jump rope ready, just so you can start working out. You're going to be less likely to use it, especially if you haven't worked out in a long time and you're just trying to get that motivation. So this rope, I would say, is very easy to use. It took me a couple seconds to get it set up. It's very easy to put this rope in and put the rope out. Now, the display is a little bit harder to use, and entering your weight, that was a little bit difficult just because the instructions weren't very clear, but I was able to figure it out. It is pretty intuitive. But overall, I'd give this rope a 4 out of 5 jumps for ease of use, because even if you can't figure out the display, it'll start counting your jumps anyway. as long as you're able to turn it on, which it is pretty easy to turn on. And so you're at least able to get out there and start exercising without any barriers. All you have to do is switch this in here, and you were able to see me do that very quickly earlier in the video. So I give this rope a 4 out of 5 jumps for ease of use. It is very intuitive, and you can get it out of the box and take it out to your gym or your garage or wherever you work out and start working out immediately. And that's what's important. Before I wrap up this video, I do want to go into the equipment that you get with the rope. You might have seen it during the unboxing, but I went through it pretty quickly. So you do get these air ropes here, kind of went through those earlier in the video, and you could easily switch it out in the turning mechanism here with the regular rope. You obviously get the regular rope. You also get this screwdriver here, this Phillips head screwdriver. And what this does is it allows you to, on one of the handles, replace the battery. And all you have to do is put that in here, screw this off, and be really careful because this screw does not retain into the back of the jump rope. I almost lost it earlier today in my office, and I had to get on the ground and find it. So it does come with this. You unscrew it, and then it's one of those, I can't remember what those types of batteries are called. They look like nickels, but you can get them for probably less than $1 at your Battery Plus or whatever battery store you have near where you live. And then all you do is just screw that back in, and it retains very well, and then that's it. So you get the screwdriver, this little Phillips head screwdriver, which you can probably use for other things around your house as well. You get the handles, the 5mm cord, and then you get the air ropes. Or up to this point in the video, you're probably asking, is this jump rope good for me? And I'll tell you who I think this jump rope is good for. First off, this jump rope is good for anybody who prefers to measure their progress in jump rope in repetitions and not time. Now, when I get on the several jump rope Facebook groups that I'm in, I always see people that are posting about repetitions rather than time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you are one of those people who likes to measure in reps and not time, then this rope would definitely be for you. It does alleviate the need to count the jumps in your head because this counter is pretty accurate, and it does give you a good idea within 2 or 3 jumps of where you are. So if you like to use repetitions rather than time, or you want to go back and forth from repetitions and time, you want to somehow incorporate counting your repetitions, then this rope is definitely for you. This rope is also for you if you are a beginner and you are just trying to get your bearings about you, just because it does come with these air ropes. And these air ropes, a lot of people make fun of them. A lot of people feel ashamed that they have to use them. That's nonsense. Don't feel ashamed that you have to do anything. At least you're out here working out and trying to do something for your health and fitness. So if you're having trouble as a beginner getting your coordination down with a regular jump rope, then this rope would be great for you because you can use the air ropes, you can get the feel of how the jump rope is supposed to be, and then you can slowly switch these out, put the regular jump rope back in, and try again. These will definitely help you. I've seen these improve people's jumping tremendously in the past, and it's nothing to be ashamed about to have to use these. So if you are a beginner, this rope is a great rope for you, also because it is cheap. It's only $15, and if you decide that you don't like jump rope, it's only $15 that you spent, and you're not going to be out a ton of money like if you had bought a cross rope or an expensive rope for $100, $200. You don't like the rope and then you're stuck with it. This rope is also for you if you do not have any interest in doing freestyle, tricks, anything along those lines. If you don't have interest in doing tricks, this rope is for you because it is pretty difficult to do tricks with this rope. I'm able to do double unders, crossovers, anything that you would normally be able to do with a regular PVC rope, I'm able to do them with. So if you don't like tricks and you're just sticking with working out, which is totally cool, this rope is for you. This rope is also for you if you prefer to have your weighted ropes with the weights in the handles and not in the actual rope attachment. And I can tell you that it does feel different. This feels a lot different from a cross rope, even though From a weight standpoint, this is even heavier than a half-pound cross rope. It does feel a little bit different than using a cross rope because the cross rope's weight is in the attachment and it's not in the handles. So if you like your weight in your handles when you're jumping rope, then this rope is definitely for you. This rope is also for you if you prefer to have your weighted ropes with the weights in the handles and not in the actual rope attachment. And I can tell you that it does feel different. This feels a lot different from a cross rope, even though from a weight standpoint, this is even heavier than a half-pound cross rope. It does feel a little bit different than using a cross rope because the cross rope's weight is in the attachment and it's not in the handles. So if you like your weight in your handles when you're jumping rope, then this rope is definitely for you. I really hope you enjoyed this review today. I hope that it was educational. I hope that you got something from it and that you learned something from it, which is the most important thing. You always want to learn new things so that you can become a better jumper, so that you can continue to improve your health and fitness. Big shout out to Yadada for sending me the rope. I appreciate the support and the opportunity to try and review the rope. So thank you very much for that. If you want to follow me on social media and connect, you can follow me on Instagram at Jump Rope Veteran, Facebook at Jump Rope Veteran. I believe I'm on Twitter as well. And you can also follow me on the channel by subscribing and liking. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy, jump rope freedom. Peace. Thanks, everybody.